The mountain path twisted like a serpent beneath my boots, fog clinging to the pines as if the forest itself held its breath. I'd heard tales of the sage, a recluse who spoke in riddles, his words sharper than a blade. My hands trembled as I reached his hut, its wooden door creaking like a warning. Inside, shadows danced across walls lined with jars of herbs, their scents bitter and ancient. Another young man stood there, his face pale but determined. We exchanged nods, strangers bound by desperation. "After you," he murmured. "No, after you," I insisted. Neither moved. The sage emerged silently, his robe brushing the floor like a whisper. His eyes, milky yet piercing, settled on us. "Speak," he said, voice like wind through dry leaves. My companion hesitated, then stepped forward. "Master, we work in the city, treated like dogs. No respect." His words cracked. I added, "They mock us, overwork us. Should we quit?" The sage's gaze narrowed. For a heartbeat, the hut seemed to pulse. Then he closed his eyes, retreating into meditation. My stomach churned. The other man fidgeted, sweat glistening on his brow. Outside, a crow cawed, a harsh, lonely sound. Minutes stretched into hours. My legs ached, but I dared not sit. The sage's stillness was unnerving, his breath so shallow I feared he'd stopped altogether. The other man's knee brushed mine. We both flinched. "What if he says nothing?" he whispered. I shook my head. "He has to." Just as doubt clawed at me, the sage's eyes snapped open. "Only a bowl of rice," he intoned. The words hung heavy, nonsensical. My companion blinked. "The thank you, master," he stammered. I echoed him, voice hollow. We backed out of the hut, the door slamming shut behind us like a verdict. Outside, the fog had thickened, swallowing the path. "What does it mean?" I hissed, clutching my sleeves. The other man frowned. "A bowl of rice, our wages, just enough to eat, nothing more." My pulse raced. "So our jobs are meaningless? We're trapped?" He shrugged, but his jaw tightened. We trudged downhill, gravel crunching beneath our steps. A cold wind bit my neck. "Maybe he's saying we're fools," I muttered. "Slaving for scraps." The man halted, eyes blazing. "Or that we're ungrateful." "Maybe the rice is a gift," I scoffed. "Gift? We're insects to them." The argument died as rain began to fall. By nightfall, we reached the city gates, their iron bars slick with drizzle. Lanterns flickered in the distance, taverns full of laughter we'd never share. "What will you do?" I asked. He stared at his hands. "Stay, prove myself." I gaped. "After this?" He turned away. The sage's answer? "It's a test. I'll show them I'm worth more." Disgust curdled in my throat. "You're mad." Without another word, I veered toward my tenement, fists clenched. That night, I lay awake, the sage's voice echoing. Only a bowl of rice. Dawn came, bloody and raw. I penned my resignation, hands steady for the first time in years. The farm was a skeleton of rotted wood and weeds, its soil choked by neglect. My uncle's ghost haunted the fields, they said, but I didn't care. I worked until my blisters bled, sowing seeds by moonlight. Hunger became my shadow. Some nights I dreamt of the city, the clatter of coins, the sneers of clerks. "Fool," they hissed, "you'll starve." I woke gasping, clutching dirt like a talisman. Yet slowly, green shoots pierced the earth. My first radish was bitter, but I devoured it. Tears mingling with soil, a bowl of rice, the phrase gnawed at me. Was this all I'd traded my pride for? Seasons turned. My hands grew calloused, my back bent like the willows by the stream. Travelers began to stop, lured by rumors of the mad farmer. They bought my cabbages, my plums, their coins clinking into a cracked clay jar. One day a merchant squinted at my melons. "These are exceptional." His greed-glazed eyes met mine. "I'll take your entire crop. Name your price." My chest tightened. This was my answer, the sage's riddle unfolding. I charged double. And he paid without blinking. That night, I laughed until my ribs ached, the stars wheeling overhead like diamonds. Meanwhile, in the city, my former colleague, the stubborn fool, rose like a phoenix. Gossip drifted to me. He'd stopped flinching at insults. When a manager cursed him, he'd smiled and said, "Only a bowl of rice, sir." Confusion became his armor. He volunteered for grueling tasks, his indifference mistaken for ambition. Promotions piled up. Clerk, supervisor, manager. Yet in his cramped office, he'd trace the sage's words on dusty ledgers. Only a bowl of rice. The phrase hollowed him, carved space for something colder, sharper. He forgot the taste of fear. Years blurred, my farm flourished, its reputation spreading like wildfire. I imported seeds from distant lands, purple carrots, golden beets, marvels that made merchants drool. Wealth draped me in silk, yet I preferred mud-caked boots. One autumn, a letter arrived, its wax seal stamped with a corporate insignia. Manager, the title read. My hands shook as I broke the seal. Inside, a single line, we should meet. The paper smelled of ink and arrogance. That night, I paced my fields like the moon a pale witness. What would he want? To gloat? To beg? The wind carried no answers. We met at a Crossroads Inn, its signboard squealing on rusty hinges. He arrived in a tailored suit, hair slicked with pomade. I wore my dirt like armor. You look well, he said, eyeing my calluses. You look dead, I retorted. His smile didn't reach his eyes. We traded stories. My crops, his boardrooms. Both rich, both restless. Why did you quit? He demanded. The sage said. Only a bowl of rice, I snapped. A job's just food. Why suffer? He leaned forward, voice low. But if it's just food, why care about their scorn? The air thickened. Our laughter was brittle, edged with confusion. Inn's fire spat embers as we glared across the table. You misunderstood, he said, swirling his wine. The sage meant detachment. The job's a tool, not a chain. I snorted. Detachment, you climbed their ladder. And you fled. My fist slammed the wood. I chose freedom. Patrons turned, eyes wide. He lowered his voice. Freedom? You're still obsessed, proving yourself through crops. I stopped needing their approval. The truth stung. My farm, my pride, was it just another cage? Outside, thunder growled. We should ask him, I muttered. The sage, end this. He hesitated, then nodded. Dawn found us on the mountain trail, boots sinking into mud. The sage's hut loomed ahead, ivy clawing its walls, no smoke from the chimney. My throat tightened. What if he's dead? My companion pushed the door. Inside, dust motes swam in stale air. The sage sat as we'd left him years prior, cross-legged, eyes shut. Master, I began. His eyes opened, clear as glacier ice. Speak. We stammered our dilemma, same answer, opposite paths. Which was right, I begged. The sage studied us, then sighed. Only a difference of thought. My jaw dropped. That's it? No wisdom? He smiled faintly. A stream flows many ways, all reach the sea. Years later I kneel in soil, hands buried in earth. The sun bleaches my hair, but my back is straight. Travelers still come, snapping pictures of the philosopher farmer. I sell them peaches, saying nothing. Some nights I wonder about him, the man in the suit. Did he find peace, or is he still chasing promotions, a ghost in a glass tower? The sage's hut collapsed last winter, they say, yet his words linger, etched in my bones. Only a bowl of rice. I laugh now, tossing seeds to the wind. Let them grow where they will. The earth doesn't argue, it simply is.